Hello everyone, my name is Robeji Sugihartono. I am moderator in the second group. Our group will be talking about integrating technology into secondary English language teaching. And I will show you guys the presenter and our member of this second group. There it is. There's Anggita Dewi Astrini, Cidikia Hanifah, Fadia Nur Fajriya, me, Robeji Sugihartono, and Tia Novita. And this is our table of content. There's a strict content there. 1. Introduction. 2. Case study 2.1. 3. Case study 2.2. 4. Case study 2.3. 5. Case study 2.4. And the last one is conclusion. Let's begin with the introduction, which will be read by me. So there is a 3 point in introduction. The first one is secondary education. English language teaching at secondary level generally takes place during the school day or additional English classes, which the student will be sent by their parents for additional English classes. But for these material purposes, the term secondary education is referred to age, which is 12 till 18 years old. The point 2, growth of technology use. There has been a tremendous growth of information communication technologies or ICT across board in recent years. We know that technology is really growing up right now, especially in education. So I think every country use technology for education. The last point is teacher training and continuing professional development and ICT. Research indicates that training in ICT skills is crucial to implementing ICT integration in the teaching and learning of English. But for many cases, we know that not every single teacher, especially in Indonesia, using technology to teach their students. We know that there is so much teacher they have an ancient mindset which is they don't use technology, like they use the old way. And just some of them which use the technology, which is like maybe my generation, the new generation. And this will be reflected on the case study too. We will talk about later. I think that's enough for the introduction. Let's move to the first material. The first material will be given by Fadia Nur Fajriya. Time is yours.
Thank you for the time, and here I would like to explain about the case study. And the case study is about telecollaboration at a secondary school in Egypt, and this is actually the research from Ayat Al-Tawel. Ayat Al-Tawel has been a teacher of English for more than 10 years and teaches the baby home language school in Cairo. And she teaches English to lower secondary learners, and with the average class size being 28 until 30 students, and language level of learners ranging from pre-intermediate and up to intermediate level. And the first is there's the beginning. I first become interested is using technology with her learners when she joined the teachers of English of speaker other language. And also electronic village online session becoming a web head, and in January 2011. For the 5 weeks at the beginning of the year, participants can engage with experts in collaborative online discussion session or hands-on virtual workshop of professional and scholarly benefit. And the pro-eval session is an introduction of webhead in action, long-standing community of practice of language teachers worldwide, which developed out of a session in the first TESOL Evo. And then, since then, in 2002, the Webhead in Action community members continued to interact and learn from each other, prompted work on projects of mutual interest in spontaneous development of what we have come to call a community of practice. And it's begun at 2004. And since taking the Evo session, I has done a number of projects with her learners and become a moderator of the BAU Evo session in January 2011. I is a firm believer in lifelong learning and thinks that one of the best way of developing professionally is by sharing with colleagues around the world that she has met online. Her interest in using learning technology is based on her belief that language learning should be as communicative as possible, and that the learner should have a real reason for communicating in English, Egypt and elsewhere. And because young students are fond of trying and using this new technology, there is a place for it in the classroom, and her main interests are using blended learning and Web 2.0 tools to enhance the learning environment and inspire creativity in the classroom. For this reason, she has started a number of projects that involve her bringing guests into her classroom using the internet telephony program Skype. And next, during the hands-on online workshop in 2011, I met and started a friendship with a colleague. Her name is Maria Bosa from Argentina, and together at the end of March 2011 they come up with the idea of an intercultural project with their lower secondary school learners, and they decided to each be a guest in the other teacher's class and let the class interview them using Skype. In a podcast discussion about the project, I had said they choose Skype because it's a synchronous web tool which allows real-time live discussion, and it extends the walls of the traditional classroom, and it encourages students to communicate with an authentic audience. And having an authentic atmosphere in the class is something very important, and it's not always there. Also, we have to seek it. And the next we have the preparation from Ayat Altawel. Yeah, she has to prepare for her research. And the first is about need to carefully manage the telecollaboration, which state is very important factor if online in-chats are to be effective. And to ensure we're also planning to be as authentic as possible, as although they involve substantial teacher preparation. They can be claimed to be authentic as defined by Higgins as anything not created by teacher for the purpose of demonstrating language at work. And the next is to prepare for interviews. Yeah, each teacher took on a contact for the language practice so that it would fit with their syllabus. Case, yeah, there was a unit in the course book she was using with her learners on global warming, with one section conveying rainforest, and she decided to start there and ask her student about countries where rainforests could be found, and they mentioned Chile, Argentina, and also Brazil. Ayat then asked them what Argentina was famous for Venice by asking the students what they thought about interviewing someone from Argentina. They were all positive about this opportunity. Yeah, the third is about execution. Yeah, execution is about complete the questions of the interview. Yeah, like this, I had collected the feedback directly afterward, and then also asking. The next is about execution, and execution here I had collected the questions of the interview to finish a research and to get the result. Yeah, I had asked the learners to do some writing on the interview, and also the learners choose the genre, some of them a word in the form of the dialogue and diary entry, and others as a biography and also the story. Yeah, it's about the execution. And the last, we have the follow-up, and after the activity was successful, and the next step is follow-up. For another reason why the teacher want to extend the project is because the students want so much communicate with the other teacher's student, not just the teacher, and they also didn't want the experience to end. Because of time differences, a Facebook group was chosen for the next stage of the learners' communication. And the teacher set up a private group, yeah, to let the learners communicate with each other online. The learners join the group voluntarily, asking each other questions about the range of the topic, and also sharing information about their own lifestyle, culture, tradition, festival, some linguistic points, idiom, and etc. And here I believe that it's very important to set a rule. Yeah, this is the second follow-up of this content. Is set a rule that communication in the group should be in English, and also which was an important objective to practice the language. However, later or they love some Spanish or Arabic words because the learners in both classes want to know some basic words of the language. Okay, maybe that's all about my explanation for case study 2.1, and I return to moderator.
Thank you for your presentation. Next, for the second presenter is Cindikia Hanifa. Time is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm Cindikia here, and I'm the second speaker of this group, and of today's presentation I'd like to explain about the case study 2.2 about sharing the experience of web tools in Brazil. Okay, so for this topic I decided to to take the example of Ana Maria Mendes. So she is an English teacher, teacher, trainer, and head of EduTech department at Cultural Angels. She teaches mainly classes of teenagers. Anna is convinced of the value of using Web 2.0 for sure, with the teenagers in particular, and thinks that one of the benefits is providing extra skills practice for the learners to do at home. She believes that although many teachers have integrated technology into their classroom practice, viewer asks their learners to use technology for the language learning at home. And in here, Anna has tried out a lot of web tools and makes a point of that and selecting the tools depending of the skills she wants her students to work with. And her learners have all said that they revere this type of homework, and I think that it sometimes used in some of the lecturer, I mean the teacher in Indonesia, and in here, Dudney and Hockley said that internet-based project work group activities which lend themselves to communication and sharing of knowledge, two principal goals of language teaching itself. And the use of projects encourages cooperative learning and therefore stimulates interaction. So, if we take a look of the Anna's research, I think so. In this case, maybe I found that she used research and practice, because all of the case studies here show practitioners using their own networks, knowledge, and researches rather than turning to classroom research for new ideas. With new tools appearing constantly and the emergence of the perpetual beta, and it is only normal to see research in learning technology trailing behind what is being done by innovative secondary school teachers. And this is not new, however, as far if we back as 1977, chemists et al. Stated that coal is practitioner led as opposed to research based, and 20 years later Levy stated that many developers rely on their intuition as teachers rather than on research and learning. Okay, so at the heart of the issues here is the question. However, the use of technologies in the classroom improves acquisition or development of language skill, or if it is simply a distraction. In a systematic review of research undertaken by Macro, Handley, and Walter in 2012, and the authors examined the evidence for this and concluded that some language learning benefits of COL have been shown, and this include evidence that COL helps secondary learners with listening and writing, particularly improvements in the amount of writing, length of text, and discourse periods of. Sorry. Discuss periods of, and with some suggestion that speaking can be also improved. However, the research on whether COL, it's spelled CANLL, improves reading and the acquisition of grammar and vocabulary were inconclusive. As far as non-linguistic benefits are concerned, the research provides evidence of positive attitude towards COL. It said on 2011, and the learners received an increase in confidence in engaging in a real learning experience not found in books and speaking activities. Okay, so one of the dangers of practitioners relying on intuition and using technology in ways they see fit is the emphasis is placed more on technology than the pedagogy. And Stockwell and reviewing studies from 2001 conclude that there was an element of failure to stipulate why a given technology was used in achieving learning objectives. And reviewing the history of COL, it also has to be noted that the field has been largely technology driven rather than serving pedagogical needs. And it is obviously impractical for teachers to wait for research to show whether a web tool is effective or not, but the teachers can, and as Chappell suggested, use ethnographic methods in investigate call effectiveness. Practitioners can ask not only whether a certain technology is effective, but also why it is effective. So, what also helps, and which can be seen in evidence in the case studies in this chapter, is teachers asking for feedback from the learners and documenting the result of this, or as well as the stages of implementation in blog post and in another publication. It's aimed at language educator, and others believe that it is a question of time until technology becomes normalized. There is typically too much focus on the technology itself and not enough on how it's used pedagogically, socially, politically, or ecologically. And for the next is normalization of ICT. Normalization can be defined as the stage in which a call finally becomes invisible, serving the needs of learners and integrated into every teacher's everyday practice. And the concept was recently revisited, which was felt necessary because of the changes in technology use, especially internet, and which has become a high-stakes environment that pervades work, pervades education, interpersonal communication, and not least the intimate relation building and maintenance. Sorry. And while technology is as a research seems to indicate not yet normalized in language education, and as regarding to the Thomas said in 2019, and Thomas said that while those involved in educational technology often assume that their pursuits are central to what is happening in their institution, the reality is that a rather limited percentage of any given group of educators, either in the school or university sector, consistently integrate technology to any great effect. And so they are definite signs of a more fully integrated approach to call emerging because of Web 2.0. And wait a minute. Okay, we continue to the what is that? The integration of ICT in secondary language teaching is, aside from Web 2.0, more traditional uses of ICT continue to. Okay, Joel points out that many standalone applications such as word processing and presentation software, for example, maybe Microsoft PowerPoint, can be used effectively by secondary school learners to improve their language skills through research and by searching their findings in oral presentation, which also provide real-world context to technological skills and enable students to develop their confidence in their language abilities. And whether using stabilized or emerging tools, it is when technology is utilized by teachers and learners and thoroughly integrated into the curriculum, and it is in the next case study that wide-ranging benefits can be detected. um, that's the explanation. Maybe it's a long explanation, but I hope you can get what I mean. And for the next case study 2.3 will be explained by my partner. For the next speaker, I please you to explain it. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Cindika Hanifah. And the third one is Anggita Dewi Astrini. Time is yours.
Okay, thanks, Robbie. Here I will be explain material digital storytelling in Argentina. Vicky Samuel is a coordinator of the EFL department at Institution San Francisco de Asís, a private school in Buenos Aires, Argentina that has 800,000 at levels from kindergarten to secondary. Now prepared, the school is mostly funded by the states, and the students have their hours of the English a week. While reviewing the way English was taught at the school based on the feedback from learning and teachers, Vicky became comfort that something needed to be changed. She started feeling the students, especially teens, were not being often at the best option for their learning. The problem was based on a number of things, but she deemed that the heart of the problem was the department reliance on course book to drive the English curriculum. Next, material digital literacy. Digital literacy is a person's ability to perform tasks effectively in a digital environment. Literacy includes ability reading and importing media, reproducing data and image through digital manipulation, and to apply and apply new knowledge gained from digital environment. This is the latest understanding. That's all for me. I'm back to Robbie.
Thank you. The next one and the last one is Tia Novita for the last presenter. Time is yours.
Okay, moderator, thank you for the time. I'm as the last speaker here. I will explain about the last study case. Is about mobile learning inside and outside of the classroom in the Turkey. But the first, I want to explain to you all about the definition of mobile learning. Mobile learning or M-learning is learning across multiple contexts through social and content interaction using personal device. That it conclude that handheld computer, mobile phone, and also tablet. Karin is a secondary teacher, start a mobile project which saw a very innovative bring your own device. By the first stage of the project is students are using phone or field trip to a zoo as data collecting tool, taking picture, recording video, documenting the English they found in the zoo, and taking a special note of any mistake that had been made with the translation. Then, back at the school, each group then created a website using DoodleKit. They post their data using Web 2.0 tools such as Photobabel, which allow audio to be added to image. And the last one is creating animated cartoon with using Go Animate. This activity have a focus for practice the language of animal idioms, and their work using this tool was also embedded on the group website. How the project was worked? The project worked for success that have some problem of it. For the first is mobile learner. Some of there's her student, her student have uh, older type of the phone, so it's had some difficulties of the transferring data like a photo and video. And for the second problem is a battery phone, because when transferring data to web tool, it consume a big battery of the phone. So of the second project of the mobile device is involve station work, using phone in every group and spending 20 minutes, not 20 but 12 minutes in every station for every group. Students are given worksheet, and activity consists of listening, speaking and reading, writing, grammar. And for the listening, use a barcode scanner. Then the barcode will lead the student to the to uh, listen to the poem. Then they will complete a closed activity and solve the puzzle hidden in the poem. And for the speaking and reading is make a recording of a radio play script using vocal pause. And for the writing is also same for the first activity, but they will bring to watch watch short video or cartoon. Then they all will rewrite it in the and their worksheet to retelling the story of the video. And for the grammar is had a online quiz, so they will complete the online quiz, and the result were emailed to the teacher. And dictionary work is using the dictionary app to complete one of the worksheet. And the last is a treasure hunt, is a scan a QR which led to a question and clue to took a place in the school where they would find the next question. And for the last is why Karin had this activity, because she have a capability. Her student, one of her one of three her one of the three students of her have a mobile phone, so it's make she easy to make this project. And also she have an access to getting a Wi-Fi to the school. So he were collected all the phone of her students, so the numbering will send it to the IT school, and they can access the Wi-Fi of the school to using or join this project. And this project have a hurdle. For the first is because it is when she uh, want to do this project, she has approved by director school, because the student haven't bring their phone to the school. Then Karin also inviting ED teacher and also school administration to a Pecha Kucha presentation. And then it also need a parent sign permission slip to their children using mobile phone in the classroom to this project, and to enjoying this activity. And the last is summary, that make a specific online objective detail, also plain specific reason how, why the use of mobile phone would benefit the learning process. Okay, that's all for my explanation. Thank you for your attention. uh, I'll take it back to the moderator.
Thank you, Tianovita, for the last presenter, and thank you for all of the presenter in this presentation. So let's move to the last one, is conclusion, which will be read by me. So from that case study, there is a 3 point in this conclusion. The first one, using technology to enhance language learning, as Jewels mentioned, allows for increased learner autonomy and control, providing a more student-centered pedagogy with learners at the center of the learning process and more actively engaged in their learning than in traditional direct instruction methods. Jewels 2006 at 178. So it means that with technology enhancing how teacher can be more student-centered pedagogy, which means teacher need to learn behavior of the student. They need research, they need to see, they need to understand why the student do that. So the teacher need to make more efficient strategy for their student. And the second point is learning technologies are becoming more normalized in language classroom, as Bucks in 2003 predicted, and teachers are beginning to stop seeing them as a technology and start seeing them as a tool which suits some purpose and not others. Pegram 2009 at 23 page. So it means that learning technologies is more normalized in our society, which especially in education thing. So teachers stop saying them as so they are start to saying them as a tool which can help them to improve their education to their student. And the last point is many teachers are self-directing their own learning when it comes to using technologies and are increasingly turning to online communities of practice, taking courses and building their own PLNS to act as a support system to help with the implementation of learning technology. So it means that the teacher, so many teachers with this technology is becoming to having communities which they can share like their method to teach their students. So it's become, you know, bigger communities which is using this technology, because this technology there are some group of teachers which sharing each other about the method of the education to their student, so it's become more efficient. The purpose of all of this presentation is to becoming more effective teacher and student can understand what the teacher said. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. But before that, I just wanna tell you, if you have any question or you don't understand some materials, you can drop below here. In below me, I think there is a discussion forum. Yeah, you can put your question there. Don't be shy. We do our best to answer that, to answer your question. So thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye bye.